What's up, y'all? This is your boy, David Mitchell, aka Dirty Mitch. Let me check something real quick. I didn't have a chance. I apologize. I'm running behind today. Uh, had some issues earlier with my dogs getting out. So anybody that has any animals know what I'm going through. Um, let me. Oh man, guys, I can't even find my phone. Uh, anyway, real quick, I want y'all to watch this video real quick. Uh, like I said, I apologize. A little ill. I'm gonna play this for y'all. I'm gonna play it again here in a minute, but it'll give me a chance. I gotta find my phone. So you guys enjoy this video right quick, and I will be right back with you. So that was last night at Osage Rec Center at HCW Legacy. HCW is a independent outfit here in Wichita. I'm gonna get into them in a moment. Like I said, I apologize. I was a little ill prepared for the start, even though I'm the one that set it up. I was ill prepared in the sense that I didn't have my lighting right. Right. Let me turn that. No. And I was trying to have the TV over here that you can't see. Um, I couldn't get. I was going to have a Dynasty AEW Dynasty watch along, but was having TV issues. But hope everybody's doing wonderful on this Sunday. Like I said, I'm your boy David Mitchell, aka Dirty Mitch. You can find me on X at Show Me State Goon. You can find me on Instagram as well at Show Me State Goon. And you can find me on obviously on Facebook at David Mitchell Jr. Also, while we're at it and passing up the stuff around, as always, I'm gonna change that. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And as always, support indie wrestling and support women's wrestling as well, right? But let's get back to that. Man, like I said, I was a little ill prepared today. I have my, as y'all know, Once again, this is over Facebook, YouTube, and X. So wherever you're watching this from, man, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a share, subscribe. Like I said, I'm on that drive for 500 subscribers, man. I'll give away some cool prizes. Look, well, I'll get to talking about them in a moment. Like I said, I'm going to talk about HCW, Heartland Championship Wrestling, and what I discovered right in my backyard, like literally backyard, right? But let's see. So since the last time we talked on Thursday night. And boy, what a SmackDown. What a SmackDown in a sense that you can tell this is a new era, the Triple H era. Forget all the bells and whistles. It was apparent Friday night on live, paid, public TV. It wasn't cable. And they had blood, which, people were like, okay, a wrestling match had blood. But they swayed away from that, right? And blood was frowned upon. But they did a good job on Friday night, right? But I promised I would talk about Heartland Championship Wrestling. And, man, I got a guest waiting right now. And I'm not going to make him wait too much longer. But I will say this. I'm going to grab a piece of something that I obtained last night. And then I'm going to bring him on. And it's going to be a doozy. This has got to be the coolest thing I've got in my memorabilia. But, last night, Legacy, Heartland Championship Wrestling Legacy at the Osage Rec Center. In the main event, it was the champion, the Carnivore, Remington Roar, putting the Heartland Championship on the line against the Prodigy, Aaron Helms, in a 3 stages of hell match. The first match was a tables match. The second match was a first blood match. And the third match was if they got to it, was a falls count anywhere. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me add to the stage the brand new Heartland Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion, the Prodigy, Aaron Helms. How are you doing this afternoon, brother, after that
awesome how are you guys?
Battle last night.
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you real well.
Okay, good. Yeah, man, I mean, I'm beat up, I'm bruised up, and I am sore as hell, but, feeling good. Got the championship all nice and polished and sitting on my shelf at home. And so feeling good, man.
Well, that's good. I was going to say, how's the back? Because, like I said, it was a 3 stages of hell, and that first one was a tables match. And, brother, I was sitting right there ringside, and when you hit that, oh, man, I was like, I didn't think he was going to be able to go. And then, you dug down deep, that intestinal fortitude, and kept on going.
Man, adrenaline's a hell of a drug, man. It really, it just got me up, and the crowd being as into it as they were. And I mean, the thing with me and Remington is that brotherhood has been there since we were children. Like we started, we've known each other since we were 5 years old. We backyard wrestled together. We did smaller independents, early on. Like, we've trained together, everything. And then to finally build up to that main event at Heartland Championship Legacy, or Heartland Championship Wrestling's Legacy event, and what I think is going to be our best show of the year. I mean, our biggest show of the year. Each year, Legacy is going to be, for all intents and purposes, our WrestleMania. And I think, the standard that was set with last night's Legacy is going to be, something to really keep an eye on, because, we did a top to bottom. I thought that card was just great.
Oh, it was stacked. It was stacked. And, that was my first HCW show. So what a way to be introduced to the HCW organization. But not, partly because I work and, I had other things going on. And it was like, I'm a parent, I'm a grandparent as well. So, and then I work, at Johnson Controls. So I work a lot. So it's kind of like the free time. And then it's like, you know, finally I told my wife, we went to Philadelphia, we went to WrestleMania, and on the drive back, I drove out there. And on the drive back, was talking about goals for the year. And I said, you know what? I'm not married to that job. I got to start doing stuff for myself. So it's kind of like I'd stop volunteering to, oh yeah, I'll work over. And I was like, you know what? And my wife wanted to come last night, right? But she's a nurse and she was on call. She's like, man, I need to get there. And then
I damn near needed her after that table spot.
Well, that's happened to us before because and it's on the show. I think I've seen you work a couple of shows for Jerry Bostic in World Class Pro Wrestling out at the Cotillion. Well, I took her to a show one night, right? As a matter of fact, this was the night that Sam Stackhouse became World Class Pro Wrestling champion in a cage. But halfway through, she was on call. Halfway through, she was like, I got to go. And I'm like, so, she went ahead. She had to leave. But anyway, one thing before we talk about get into more about last night, one thing that impressed me, as I'm looking through this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about Heartland Championship Wrestling is that it's how would you say? I don't hate to use the word. It's not a run of the mill indie promotion. You guys appear to be a solid base, right? A solid core. And you got shows lined up. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule now. The next show is May 18th. Then we got June 29th. You got one every month for the rest of the year there at Osage Rec Center. To have that home, to have that somewhat of a, how would you say, like a home base, like a Madison Square Garden is to the WWE. How does it, how does it for you performers, knowing that every month you're going to be in that building and not to, to entertain a same group of people? Right.
So here's what I always tell people, like, because there's companies out there that try and travel and stuff on the independent level. And I feel like that's very difficult. Like, I would rather focus on one town or a couple towns in this area and really hit those hard and to steal from, I want to steal from what ECW did. In the 90s, they really focused on the Philadelphia arena and, and then Hammerstein, but they had like 3 or 4 arenas that they went to, consistently. And they were there like every month or every other month. And it really allowed them to build this hardcore fan base that are like, hey man, our fans feel like they're part of the show. And they are, they're the best part of the show. Our fans are so into it. And allowing us to build that opportunity or to build the town and to get people invested. Not only does it help us as wrestlers, develop, but it helps our fans continue to enjoy the product and connect with the product, but also for like advertisers and stuff like that. There's a lot of upside. But when we do community events and stuff, like, because you said this is your first show, so you have not seen any of the like charitable work stuff we do. But like in December, we did a toy drive where we had like $700 in toys donated from HCW fans, and we go donate that to kids in need. Or like in November, we had done a food drive. Same thing. We go donate that to like the local pantries and stuff. And so it allows us to have a platform for that aspect of as well, for our philanthropy, to be able to give back to the community and for people to know that Heartland Championship Wrestling isn't just some company that's out here to take your dollar, and run off with it like a sideshow circus. We are committed to our community, and we're committed to developing and producing high quality events, and offering a level of interaction and accessibility to people that you otherwise wouldn't get with like a WWE or even like an AEW or anything. And I think that's the magic of independent wrestling, and that's the magic of what we do. Is we have that opportunity to connect, and we have that opportunity to do so much more. Where it is, but we're still like, you'll feel the size of the show. Like, we don't, just because we're a smaller company, we don't spare expense on the little details like the programs or, like we make sure that we have good looking lighting and good looking equipment. And we're not, we do not like you know, our VIPs, they get a table. It's not just like, oh, that's front row. It's like you get table seating, and it's covered tables with, you know, with tablecloths and stuff. So it's nice.
And like, you know, VIP type stuff, pictures. Blade
like,
had pictures set out. I noticed that Blade had pictures set out at each table that were already signed, right, for each one of the VIPs, which I told my wife. And, you know, like I said, I was impressed with everything from top to bottom. And, you know, I'm 48 years old. I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 3 or 4. The very first wrestling show, this is showing my age, even though I just said it, but the very first time I ever went to wrestling was the old Central States territory. And what they did is they worked Kansas City Friday, Springfield, Missouri on Saturday, and had to pay off on Sunday at Wrestling at the Chase. In my very first match, my grandfathers took me, and I got to see Dusty Rhodes versus Dick Murdoch in a strap match. And Harley Race, which is probably 79, so it's probably only his 3rd or 4th reign, wrestled a young kid who was originally built from Minneapolis. He later built from Charlotte, and he went on to become Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right. That was my very first experience. Right. So in that sense, and I love the way you guys alluded to how interactive you guys are with the fans. I tell people all the time, the indie level is the only level you'll get that type of fan experience. I tell people all the time, at the indie level, you want to talk about bang for your buck, and it doesn't matter if you're charging $10 or $40. You're going to walk away from that event. Doesn't matter if it's 1 hour or 4 hours. You're not going to feel like, man, I wasted my money. You're going to walk away feeling, wow, that was worth every penny.
Well, and that's a big focus for us as well. We've really tried to make sure that our shows are cost effective for families to be able to bring their kids. And while my match last night was a little more on the brutal side than what would normally be at one of our shows, we are a family friendly show. You're not going to have a lot of blood. You're not going to have a lot of cussing.
I don't think I heard one cuss word uttered really, like not even out of jest. Like for instance, the Blade and Ray Leon match, and wasn't really a botch, but from my angle, you could see that it was. And they were talking to them, hey, I'm sorry. Not one of them said, oh, F or oh, holy shit. That was what was cool. When you talk about the action, right? And I love the way you got the fans, us fans are so close to the action. There's no barricades, right?
Right.
And I think that's cool. Because in your match, when it was the Falls Count Anywhere, hey, if I don't move, one of you guys is literally landing on top of me. So when I move, the security's pulling me back, and they're moving the chairs out of the way. And then once you guys cleared out, I'm like, my chair was gone. And but I loved it. And another thing that's caught my eye, because like I said, this was just my first actual going, but I've watched a lot of the videos. I met Dutch McLean. He's the one that young kid's gonna go places. He's the one that invited me to the very first HCW show. I seen Dutch at AEW Collision back in November. Right. Yeah. What caught my eye was he had the Rhodes Wrestling Academy shirt on. And we struck up a conversation outside while I was waiting for my wife to pull up with the car. And he's like, man, you got to come check us out. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then, it slowly morphed into seeing ads on Facebook, watching videos. And I'm like, you know what? That's one of my things is support indie wrestling. If you can look, you see, I'm a wrestling collector. I've got a gang of belts in the back, right? But I feel like my thing is if you can drop 50, 60, $100 on an AEW, TNA, WWE show, and if you do have indie wrestling in your backyard, take that same $100 and invest it in that indie show. Because, like I've said, and I might be off on this, but maybe not too far off, to the WWE, TNA, and AEW, that $100 is, but to you guys, that could make or break a show. That could, that could make or break. Well, hey, we didn't draw a good house, so I can't give match of the night bonuses or every. So that $100, I tell everybody, as always, and I've got it bannered right here. Support indie wrestling, right? That's one
Absolutely.
of my things. But and you know what else? But before we before we wrap this up and I let you go, one thing that's also impressed me is not only do you guys have putting on consistent shows and good quality product, you're doing it without bringing in a marquee icon, superstar, legend, whatever, as a selling point. I'm not mad at those indie guys that do that, those indie promoters that do that. Jerry Bostic, and I love that guy to death, right? But you know, when he would bring shows to Wichita, he always centered it around a legend. You know, well, case in point, one of the last ones was the Sandman, right?
Right.
That wasn't the last show, but Sandman and the Hannibal and Matt Hardy. So you know, you built that whole thing. You guys are putting on an awesome product without having to do that. And that's a testament of your HCW's business model and you guys and gals as well.
Yeah, well, and I think like to go back to what I was talking about with like kind of stealing the ECW model, like they had legends come in on the early days of ECW, but they really didn't have the budget for that, you know, as much either. And so, and like you will see legends and stuff come into HCW every now and then. Like we've got very good friends in the business that, you know, we're always trying to work everyone in, but a lot of it is like we are so focused on our talent and our roster of guys and gals. And trust me, if you love, you know, if you like women's wrestling, HCW is the place to be for women's wrestling because we have some of the best damn women in the entire United States. Heidi Hauser is an absolute A+ superstar.
That's what I was getting ready to say. And I don't know.
They're all top tier.
Because there's a couple of those girls. I was talking with a gentleman. I don't know if you're familiar with Mission Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Down in San Antonio, and that's all women's based. That's all and all women. They have a couple guys in there to do the Andy Kaufman type stick, right? But it's all women's wrestling. I mean, there's some guys and gals. What's the girl? Golly, off the top of my head, I can't think of her, but she did a crying deal when she was a kid, met CM Punk, and now she's in NXT. She got her start in Mission Pro Wrestling. And then obviously people know who Thunder Rosa is. Right. Yeah. And her and her husband are the ones that actually own that. But yeah, so I was telling people this is the next HCW show, Saturday night Devastation, New Beginnings. Now I want to ask, is this going to be a geared more of a all women's show? What can we expect with this next winter? Is it, you know,
so it's not an all women's show, but the women are highlighted mostly because May is Women's Month nationally. So we wanted to really showcase our women's talent, but it is not an all women's show. There's going to be plenty of hard hitting, you know, guy action there as well. But there are going to be some absolute banger matches from the women that are on there, and they're a featured act. It's not like the women in HCW are not a forgotten thing. It's not like sometimes, you know, bigger companies have treated women. They are stars of the show that we want to highlight. And so we really are trying to make a big push to show people how awesome women's wrestling in the state of Kansas is.
Okay, well, and one other thing here, right, is like I said, I collect memorabilia, right? And over to the wall here on my wall, to where I'm pointing this way, is my Steve Austin wall. I'm a diehard Steve Austin fan, right? Like I don't drink IPA. I hate IPA beer. But I literally bought a 4-pack of the new Broken Skull 316 IPA just to have the can, right?
Okay.
I literally I drank one can and I'm like, no, I can see why I'm a regular beer drinking guy. Some of the other, I mean, I've got all kinds of cool stuff, but the coolest thing, I gotta say, this is the coolest by far.
Hey, I love
this. Is a piece of that table that you went through, right? And the fact that, and you signed it, right? So that is definitely. I got to find a good place for it. As you can see, this NBA Jam video game back here. I'll set it on top of it so my dogs don't get it. But I tell you what, hey, that was a banger of a match, and I'm glad that I came. Not only that, and this is just, I don't know, this is the parent in me. but I have a son that's 20. Let me see how it's Jordan. 22 years old. Product of Northwest High School. Played football. He's 6'2", 275. And when I seen this on the inside of that brochure, right, about Billy Simmons Wrestling School, I immediately screenshotted it, sent him the picture, and I said, "Hey, you're thinking about a new hobby? Here you go." Right?
Hey, heck yeah, man.
We were literally hit this. Today is him and his wife's first wedding anniversary, and they came by on their way to dinner, and we were literally sitting talking about that because after I get done with you, if you have a chance, I'm going to play. Matter of fact, how much time I got you left with?
Oh, I got minutes. Just another minute or so. I got to.
Okay. Well, I do want to play this for you, and you'll be able to watch it. And then this is something I put together from last night. All the pictures and stuff I took. Awesome. Anybody else out there watching, go check them out on my Facebook page. It wouldn't allow me to upload on this video creator I got to the little videos, but like I've got a 30-second video of you going through the table. Right?
Awesome.
So
I haven't seen it yet, so now I'm excited.
So go on my Facebook page and check out. They're under the album's HCW Legacy, and it has the date. But yeah, let me play this for you right quick.
Okay. Nice.
So there we go. Hey, and just for anybody out there that's ever wondered about thumbtacks and wrestling, those were real. I like personally when I took that picture, the guys that come out, the security guys that came out and had a broom was getting ready to start sweeping them up. Right. I actually grabbed a couple of them. Oh yeah, they're real. So anybody out there that ever thinks, oh, they're not real.
When like I said, you went to hand me the title last night, I had about 6 of them in my hand, and I was like, "Well, hold on for a second." I was pulling them out of my hand real quick while I was on the ground.
I know. I was just glad. I was just wondering. I'm like, man, I wonder if I hope he didn't have none on his rear that he can't feel, because as soon as he sits down, he will feel. Wait, Aaron, I don't want to keep you too much more. I appreciate you coming on, champ. let everybody know if they isn't paying attention to the ticker. Where can we see you next again in Heartland Championship Wrestling?
Yeah, so Heartland Championship Wrestling is returning to the Osage Recreation Center. It's May 18th for Saturday Night Devastation New Beginnings. You can follow us on Facebook at HCW Live 23. You can also follow my page at The Prodigy Helms, both on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. And you'll find it. And yeah, we'd love to see you guys there. Thank you for being there last night. Just make sure to like the page and share it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And get the word out there for us, man.
And also for anybody that's interested in going, if you can't find the links that he just said, go on my wall. I will share them every time. There's a link on every share that has where you can purchase tickets. And here's another cool thing real quickly before I go. And this says a lot for the upper management. They don't use a system that charges a card fee. So if that ticket is $35 for the VIP, that's what you're charged. It's $35. There's no hidden fees, and they accept cash at the door as well. But Wade, champ, I'll let you get back to your Sunday evening. I appreciate you taking out the time, and I'll see you on May 18th.
See you May 18th. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. That was Aaron Helms, y'all, the new Heartland Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Well, since I have my guest on, right? And we just gonna get back into it. So also last night we seen Tommy Too Good lose to Jose Gerardo. You seen Ray Leon beat the Blade, but boy, did he pay the price afterwards, because Tricky Dick Williams, Richard Williams, Tricky Dick, he tricked him and he turned on him. Right. So we'll see what transpires next month at Saturday Night's Devastation. Behind that, you're also seeing the Rebel Hearts take on the pair of rock stars. You've seen Noel Summit, who was supposed to take on Stormy Renee, but Stormy Renee, pulled something with Tricky Dick there. Richard Williams, who is now owns 50% of Heartland Championship Wrestling, and his first order of business was to take the Sunflower title match away from Mindy Grace and give it to Stormy Renee. So Mindy Grace ended up annihilating Noel Summit. Then you had a six-pack challenge: Kane Carter, Drake Gallows, Gideon Vane, Dutch McClain, Franco Varga, and Austin Reddick, right, for the number one contendership. And the man from Oklahoma City, Showtime, Austin Reddick. Was it Austin that won? I had to go back and look. Either way, it was a banger of a match, right? Then you had that Sunflower Championship match that was originally supposed to be Sweetest Tea, Mindy Grace versus the Rad Warrior, Heidi Howitzer. I'm sorry. My girl Heidi, she's the Indies version of Rhea Ripley. She's a badass. She retains her title. Then you also had Chocolate Violence successfully defend their KWA tag team titles against Ricky and Carragher. Then we also had a strap match for the Independence Championship. And Handgun champion Handgun Down taking on Chance Kerrigan. And ladies and gentlemen, the first title change of the night went to Wichita's own Chance Kerrigan, successfully winning the Heartland Championship Independence title from Handgun Dan and a strap match. And then, like I said, we just had the new champ on. The main event saw the Prodigy, Aaron Helms, defeat the Carnivore Remington Roar in a 3 stages of hell match. The first one was a table match. How do I know who won that? Remington Roar won stage 1. Why? Because I've got a piece of the table autographed by the new champ, right? Stage 2 was a first blood match, and man, under violence, with the Prodigy Aaron Helms striking first blood on Remington, right, to take it to a Falls Count Anywhere. And when they mean Falls Count Anywhere, okay, I'm sitting ringside, and those pictures that you've seen in that video were from ringside, right? So I literally had to get up, because if not, That dude's every bit of 300 pounds would have been on top of me. But you just seen it. You just heard from him. The brand new, reigning, and defending, undisputed Heartland Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion is none other than the prodigy himself, Aaron Helms. But Aaron's got the target on his back now. We'll see what happens Saturday night, May 18th. Osage Rec Center, Wichita, Kansas. Saturday night devastation, new beginnings, right? Get your tickets on online. Like I said, I go on my wall on Facebook or search Heartland Championship Wrestling, HCW. Like I said, good, affordable, family, fun, friend, entertainment. So I had a blast. I got a new passion. And hello to everybody out there watching. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, right? Wherever you're at, go on my YouTube, right? Go on YouTube and search this up. Hit that subscribe button, man. I'm on a drive for 500 subscribers is my goal, right? Right now, I got 10 subscribers, right? That like, share, subscribe. I'm on a drive for 5. I hit 500 subscribers, and I'm going to give a prize away. Could be a phone call from a wrestler. Could be because I do have some connections. Could be a piece of memorabilia. Could be some tickets. Could be anything. But like I said, I'm on the drive for 5, and as always, we're on that busted open 24/7 kick, 10/11/24, right? But let's see. So anyway, back to the WWE. They're going in cycles. Part of it is they're gearing up for the move to Netflix, which I think their content less restrictive, more PG-14, MA-14, Attitude Era-esque. But let me know what y'all think. What y'all think about the creative direction of the WWE. And not none of this tribalism bullshit, man, because that shit ain't pro. Well, how is it you can be a football fan, right? But because you don't hear that in football. Like, NFL, because in wrestling, because I like this show, that means to some people in the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community. There's people that do podcasts and live streams that I support that don't give me a peace of mind, play me no mind, right? I could never get a like, share, subscribe from them on mine, but I do the same. Do I treat them the same? No, I give them the like, share, subscribe. Stop with the tribalism, right? One company's not better than the other. You might think that. Ratings might prove that, right? There's good in both companies. Why would you want to see another company fail? Because all you're seeing is the performers on TV. These companies employ men and women, seamstresses, cable guys that set the ring up. They feed their family too. So if a company was to go out of business, go under, they lose their job too. So stop with the tribalism, man. One ain't better than the other. Speaking of AEW, just to show you I'm not an AEW hater, I'm going to see if I can pull up anybody doing a watch party right quick. And I'm going to give some highlights out of, let me see, because I think he is watching it. Link is in the comments. Let me see. Anyway, I'm looking to see. Somebody had it on Discord. Trying to see. Anybody got any highlights? Not now. Log in. Have I ever used Discord? I don't know. Let me see if I haven't. Give me just a minute, y'all. I'm trying to see. Wait, are you human? Please confirm you're not a robot. Okay. I hate that. Login, passwords invalid. Okay. Anyway, let me see. Let me see if anybody's on X. Toot toot. Let me see if my girl Hollywood. She usually does some watch parties, watch alongs. Let me see if I can pull up Hollywood. Trying to find it, guys. Don't see none yet. I'm trying to get there. Right? Just trying to see if we had any AEW Dynasty to update. As I'm not watching it live right now. I am trying to find up a watch along. You know what's crazy is when I'm not looking for these watch alongs. Uh-oh. So it looks like Willow Nightingale is the new TBS champion. So Willow Nightingale has won. Willow Nightingale has won the TBS title. Who did? Uh-oh. Mercedes Moné confronts her after her big win. Okada beat Pac in the opening match. So that's all I have for you. Wait a minute. You have new trios champions as what do they call themselves? The Gun Club, Bullet Club, AEW. I'm not sure, but the Colton and Austin Gunn and Switchblade Jay White are your new AEW trios champions, right? I know why she's not doing a watch along. Hollywood is live. So my girl Denise Salcedo, Saturday morning host on Busted Open. You can find them every day, Monday to 7 days a week, 8 to 11 Central, 9 to noon East Coast. So that if it's 8 to 11 Central, 6 to 9 out on California time, and 5 to 8 in Alaska. But check Busted Open out every day, Monday through Friday. We're pushing for 24/7, pushing for their own channel. They're the #1 sports radio show on Sirius XM. But check out my homeboy Dave LaGreca, Hall of Famers Bully Ray and Mark Henry. Should be a Hall of Famer, Tommy Dreamer. You got Thunder Rosa. You got Denise Salcedo. You got Justin LaBar. You got Jonathan Good. I mean, just a Nick Nemeth, right? For those of you who don't know that, he used to be Dolph Ziggler, right? But check them out. I was hoping to have a watch along to look, but nobody is watching along. At least nobody that I follow, right? Let me one more time. Right? Nope, I don't see nothing. But it does look like a hot crowd, packed house there in St. Louis. St. Louis has always been a good wrestling city, right? They're packed. So anybody in AU tribalism that post a picture of a half-empty arena when they first open the doors, we're not cutting that. I'm reposting this on Twitter right now as we speak. I'm retweeting it out. You can go find me on Twitter at Show Me State Goon, right? There we go. At Show Me State Goon. Find me on Twitter. I reposted the crowd, a panning of the crowd put out by Wrestling News 45 minutes before the pay-per-view went live on the air. Right. This is such an awesome, look, TNA, don't want to forget them out. Matt Hardy returned to TNA last night, right? They had a banger of a pay-per-view. Moose retaining the title, right? So check TNA out. Back to WWE. So we'll see where this is going to go with Cody. It looks like Cody's got AJ Styles. Damian Priest has Jey Uso. A lot of fresh stories, right? But they still have the bloodline story. Why? Because it feels like all's being caught in the middle. And it feels like eventually Solo Sikoa is going to blurt out, because Paul said that Tribal Chief didn't authorize this. I feel in the coming weeks, Solo's going to say, who said anything about the Tribal Chief authorizing it? Then that's when The Rock comes back. There's no timetable for Roman Reigns' return. But what I hope what's going to lead to it is that at Survivor Series and War Games, they have the original bloodline with Roman Reigns and the Usos, right? And maybe even throw in Sammy, who knows, for what they did to Kevin Owens, versus Solo Sikoa's bloodline. And you would have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and The Rock, right? Which will help segue to a WrestleMania 41 match between Roman Reigns and The Rock for family supremacy. No title needed. Book it, right? WrestleMania 41 still hasn't been announced the location. Minneapolis was the front runner, but now Nick Khan is saying not so fast. Vegas might be the front runner. Either way, he did say there will be no more outdoor WrestleManias on the East Coast. If there's an outdoor WrestleMania, it will be on the South or on the West Coast, and they're potentially talking about moving. But it's all in all, it's a good deal going forward. Man, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. I'm going to leave y'all with a couple videos. But like I said, hit that like, share, subscribe, man. It don't take very long. I'm going to continue to bring y'all good content, try to have guests on, try to have other people to debate with or throw ideas, tell stories about. I've got some people lined up. Man, I'm the type, I'm going to go and talk regardless. If I have a guest, that's cool. If I don't, as you can see, I got the gift of gab, and I've had the gift of gab since I came out the womb, right? I could carry this by myself. Just more fun and stuff when you got someone to bounce it off of. So, with that being said, let me real quickly. I'm going to play one more time. I am going to, real quickly, let me put their banner back up. Like I said, the next HCW show, HCW Saturday Night Devastation, May 18th, Osage Rec Center, Wichita, Kansas. You can go on my wall and find any Heartland Championship Wrestling that I've shared. They always have a ticket link. But check this out right quick, and I will be right back in about 2 minutes. Right? All right, y'all. Hey, like I said, I shot that. All that footage was from last night's show, HCW Legacy. As you heard, the champ Aaron Helms. They're gonna build that show around. That's gonna be like their version of, their big show of the year, their Super Bowl, their WrestleMania, so to speak. Like I said, anyway, their next show, May 18th, Osage Rec Center, Wichita, Kansas. They've got one scheduled for every month all the way to the end of the year. So if you're in the Wichita area, check them out, because like I said, I've always said, not only support women's wrestling, but support indie wrestling, right? Now I'm going to leave with this. I'm going to leave with a little rant / public service announcement. Tribalism has no place in professional wrestling. Why is professional wrestling the only genre of entertainment where its fans tear other fans down, right? You have to choose. If you're a fan of this company, that means you must hate this company. If you're critical of that company, that must mean you favor the other company. Stop it. Can't we all be fans? Can't we all like the same thing and at the same time like something different? Can't we all, just because I like this, right, doesn't mean I don't enjoy that, right? There's things about both that I like. There's things about both of them I don't like, right? But if you're a fan that berates other fans because they're opinionated about this one and not the other one, or they like this one more than they like the other one, and you guys call them e-drones, you say they're moist, you guys are the toxic type of people in the IWC that need to be eradicated, not just from wrestling community. You guys are the type of toxic people that need to be eradicated from the earth. How can you be I'll give a prime example. My friend Dave LaGreca, right, started Busted Open on Sirius XM. 15 years ago, he started that show. At that time, he was given 1 hour, 1 day a week. Now he's built it up to 7 days a week on 3 hours a day, getting ready to, we're pushing for their own channel, 24/7 Busted Open. Yet every day I can go on social media platforms and hear people criticize the show and say, bad bile things about Dave, about Thunder Rosa, about this person can't carry an interview. All this person wants to do is argue with somebody. All this person wants to do. Then why listen, right? Not saying you don't have a right to listen or be critical, but if that's all you're going to do is bash a show, and not only bash a show and a person and the people that work for them, bash it on their site, okay, I'll give it like this. There's a Facebook page called the Busted Open Nation. For the most part, everybody in that group is awesome. But you got people that come on there just to complain about, I don't like Thunder on Fridays. She doesn't know her. Mark always wants to talk about food. They don't ever come on and talk about the good that David LaGreca and them people do. Hey, if you want to be critical, fine. But be constructive with your criticism. Don't be toxic. Don't call people moist or e-drones just because they don't agree with you. And they like WWE more than AEW, or they like TNA over WWE. Who cares? We're all wrestling fans, right? As you heard my guys say, they know tribalism in Heartland Championship Wrestling. They love everybody. So with that being said, man, y'all have a good day. Love one another. And here's something else. Here's a challenge to everybody watching this. I challenge everybody watching this, be kind and compliment a stranger. I appreciate y'all watching. Once again, hit that like, share, subscribe button, right? Hit the like, share, subscribe. And until next time, you ain't got to be the biggest to be the baddest. And I can bet the house on that. And don't forget, if you're going to crash the canvas. Next show, Sunday evening. Peace. I'm out.